Well, from my standpoint, he should be remembered as one of the finest human beings I ever knew in my life.
December 25th, 1995. Christmas morning in Beverly Hills. At exactly 7:32 a.m., Frank Sinatra's phone cuts through the stillness of his Palm Springs home. He's alone. Barbara is away visiting family. The quiet feels heavier than usual. He answers. It's his assistant. The voice on the other end trembles. Frank, Dean's gone. Sinatra straightens, confusion turning sharp. What do you mean, gone? He passed this morning, respiratory failure. Deanna found him. The words land, but they don't settle. The phone slips from Sinatra's hand and hits the floor.
Debonair Dean Martin died today at his home in Beverly Hills, California.
He doesn't move. He just stares ahead, blank, because Dean Martin is gone, and the last time they spoke was 7 years ago. March 1988, the Together Again tour. Dean walked out. Frank called him a quitter and never said sorry. Eventually, Sinatra picks the phone back up, his voice quieter now. When's the funeral? Friday, December 29th. Pierce Brothers. Deanna will call with details. A pause hangs in the air. Is she inviting me? Silence. Then softly, I don't know, Frank. He hangs up. For 20 minutes, he sits in absolute silence. Then something shifts. Something he hasn't allowed himself in years. Tears come. Not loud, not dramatic, just steady, quiet grief, because his brother is gone, and there was no goodbye. 3 days later, December 28th, the phone rings again. It's Dina Martin. Mr. Sinatra. Dina, I'm so sorry. Thank you, I'm calling about the funeral. I wanted to ask you something. Anything. A breath. Would you speak at the service? Sinatra freezes. You want me to speak.
Martin's comedy act with Jerry Lewis made him a household name. But it was Martin's post-Lewis career that made him a star.
Yes, my father loved you. Even after everything, he never stopped. Sinatra exhales slowly. Dina, we didn't talk for 7 years. I said things I can't take back. I know, she says gently. He told me, but he also said something else. Sinatra listens. He said, Frank's stubborn, but he's my brother, and brothers fight. That lands deeper than anything else. Sinatra's voice breaks slightly. He said that the week before he died, she continues, he was watching old Rat Pack footage. He smiled, the first time in months. He said, those were the days when we were kings. Sinatra can't respond. He just grips the phone, holding on to every word. So yes, Dina says softly, I want you to speak, because he would have wanted you there. Even if he never said it out loud, I'll be there.
What kind of a loss is this to the industry?
I don't know. I really don't know. Not yet, we don't know.
A pause, then one final truth. And Frank, he forgave you a long time ago. The line goes dead. Sinatra sits there, that sentence echoing louder than anything else. He forgave you, but there's a harder question now, one he can't escape. Did Frank forgive himself? Number. Because that kind of forgiveness doesn't come easy. Not when pride got in the way, not when time ran out. Now he has to stand in front of a room full of people and speak about the man he lost, the brother he pushed away, the apology that never came. December 29th, 1995. The day Frank Sinatra must bury his best friend and face the truth that he waited too long. That morning at Pierce Brothers Mortuary in Beverly Hills, he arrives early. Black suit, dark sunglasses, silent. His driver steps out first, then helps him from the car. He's 80 now. His legs aren't what they used to be, unsteady with every step, but he came anyway. That matters.
Oh, don't be nervous, folks. Dean is fine. He just fell in the wine cellar.
Frank Sinatra walks slowly into the chapel. It's empty, silent. Just one presence in the room, the closed casket, an American flag draped carefully across it. He stops a few feet away and stares. "Hey, pal." His voice echoes faintly through the room. No answer comes. There never will again, because Dean Martin is gone. Frank lowers himself into the front pew and removes his sunglasses, holding them loosely in his hands. His eyes stay fixed on the casket. "I don't know what to say to you," he murmurs. "I had 7 years to figure it out, and I still don't know." He exhales, long and heavy. "You were right, about the tour, about Sammy, about me. I pushed too hard. I always do." His voice softens. "You walked away because you had to, not because you wanted to." A pause. Then the regret cuts deeper. "I called you a quitter in front of everyone." His jaw tightens. "And you didn't fight me on it. You didn't correct me. You just let me be wrong." Because that was Dean. No drama, no need to win, just quiet dignity and distance when it was needed. "You never came back," Frank whispers. "You just left." The chapel door creaks open. A woman steps inside, Alta Vise Davis. She spots Frank immediately and walks over, sitting beside him without a word at first. "He loved you, Frank." "I know." She turns slightly toward him. "Do you?" That lands heavier than anything he said to himself. "Because for 7 years," she continues, "you acted like you didn't." Frank looks at her, tired. "I was angry. He left the Rat Pack, left Sammy, left me." Altavise shakes her head gently. "He didn't leave anyone. He was exhausted. He was sick. He was grieving his son."
He's a little bit drunk, a little bit high, but we love him, so why fight that?
Frank doesn't respond. Instead of letting him rest, she adds, "You asked for more." There's nothing to argue with, because she's right. She stands, but before leaving, she gives him one last truth. "Sammy forgave you before he died. He said, 'Frank's Frank, you can't change him.'" Frank swallows hard. "But Dean," she continues softly, "Dean kept waiting for you to call." A pause. "And you never did." She walks away, leaving Frank alone again, with the silence, with the casket, with everything he can't undo. An hour later, the chapel fills. Slowly at first, then all at once. Family, friends, legends, Shirley MacLaine, Bob Newhart, Jerry Lewis. The room is full, but Frank notices the absence more than the presence. Joey Bishop isn't there. The last surviving member of the Rat Pack has stayed away, still holding on to the belief that Frank pushed Dean too far and broke something that couldn't be fixed. The service begins. Deana Martin speaks first, her voice steady, full of love. She talks about her father's humor, his warmth, the way he made people feel like they belonged. Then it's Frank's turn.
And I say, here's to you. You know I love you. I can't say it any more than that. You're my brother.
He rises slowly, each step toward the podium deliberate, heavy. He grips the sides, steadying himself, looks out at the crowd, and for 10 long seconds, nothing. No words, no voice, just silence. Because the truth is sitting in his chest, and it's heavier than anything he's ever carried. Finally, Dean Martin was my brother for 40 years. His voice is quieter than anyone expects. Through everything, the highs, the lows, the fights, the silence. He pauses. The next words don't come easily, but they come, and I failed him. The room stills completely. Frank Sinatra doesn't say things like that. He doesn't admit weakness. He doesn't confess regret. But today, he does. In the end, I failed him a breath. His voice trembles. I should have called. I should have apologized. I should have told him what he meant to me. He looks down briefly, then back up. But I didn't, because I'm stubborn and proud and stupid. The words hit harder than any performance he's ever given. And now he's gone, and I can't fix it. His eyes drift to the casket. I'm sorry, Dean. I'm so sorry. That's it. No flourish, no performance, just truth. He steps away from the podium, returns to his seat, and lowers his head into his hands, because for the first time in public, Frank Sinatra breaks. After the service, they move to Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery. It's quiet there, smaller, more personal. Frank stands by the graveside as they lower Dean into the ground. He doesn't cry this time. There's nothing left for tears, just emptiness. Deanna Martin approaches and gently places a hand on his arm. Thank you for coming, for speaking. Frank nods faintly. Words aren't coming anymore. She smiles softly. He kept a picture of you in his wallet. Frank looks at her, surprised. From 1960, the Sands, all of you together. Frank's voice is barely there. Why? Because that's who you were to him, she says. Not the man who called him a quitter, not the one who never called, but his brother from the good days. She squeezes his arm, then walks away. And in that moment, something settles. Dean had forgiven him a long time ago, but Frank never allowed himself to believe it. That night, he's back in Palm Springs, alone again. Barbara tries to reach him, but he doesn't answer. He just sits in his study, staring at the wall like he's waiting for something that won't come. There's a photograph on his desk, the Sands. Frank, Dean, Sammy, Joey, Peter, young, untouchable, kings. He picks it up, studying every face. 4 of them are gone now. Sammy, Peter, Dean, and Joey. Won't even speak to him. He's the last one left, and he's never felt more alone. He pours a glass of Jack Daniels, drinks it, then pours another. For a moment, he thinks about calling someone, anyone. But who's left? The phone rings. He ignores it. It rings again. Finally, he picks up. Yeah, it's Shirley MacLaine. Frank, I'm worried about you. I'm fine. No, you're not. Nobody's fine after burying their best friend. Frank doesn't answer right away. Then quietly, I waited too long, Shirley. 7 years. I could have called any day. A pause, but I didn't. Why not? Frank exhales slowly, the truth finally clear. Because I was waiting for him to call first. Because I'm stubborn, Frank Sinatra admits quietly. Because I thought we had time. On the other end, Shirley MacLaine softens her voice. Frank, you can't change the past, but you can learn from it. Learn what? He snaps, tired more than angry. That I ruin everything I touch? No, she replies gently. That relationships need more than pride. They need effort, forgiveness, time, and sometimes time runs out. That lands. Frank doesn't argue. He just exhales, drained. I can't talk anymore. He hangs up, not out of anger, but because there's nothing left to say. The house falls silent again. Hours pass. He doesn't move much, just sits there with his thoughts circling the same regret. Then, slowly, he does something he hasn't done in decades, since Dolly passed. He writes by hand a letter. Dear Dean. The pen hesitates, then continues. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was too proud to call, too stubborn to admit I was wrong, too scared to face losing you, even after I already had. He pauses, staring at the page, then keeps going. You deserved better. From me, from life, from all of us. Another breath. I hope wherever you are, you've found peace, and I hope someday I'll see you again, so I can finally say what I should have said 7 years ago. His hand tightens slightly as he finishes. I love you, brother. Always did. Always will. He signs it simply, Frank. He folds the letter carefully and slips it into an envelope. But he doesn't mail it. Because where do you send a letter meant for Dean Martin? Instead, he places it in his desk drawer right beside the photograph from 1960, the Sands, the Rat Pack, all of them together. And for the next 3 years, that letter stays there. Every night, he looks at it. A quiet reminder of the brother he lost, and the apology that came too late. But what most people never understood wasn't just the grief. It was what Dean represented. He wasn't only a friend, he was the last living connection to who Frank used to be. A year passes. Frank's health begins to decline. Dementia creeps in. His heart weakens. The performances become rare. But when he does step on stage, something has changed. One night at a private event, he sings "One for My Baby." The room is small, intimate. The audience hangs on every word. He reaches the line, "We're drinking, my friend," and stops right there, mid-song. He stares out into the crowd, lost for a moment. Someone calls out, "You okay, Frank?" He nods, but he isn't, because that line, that was Dean's. Dean used to sing it at the end of the night after the crowds were gone. Just the two of them left in the room. Bourbon, cigarettes, laughter, brotherhood, and now he's singing it alone. Frank forces himself to finish the song, but the weight is there in every note. When he steps off stage, his assistant finds him backstage, quietly breaking again. "Mr. Sinatra, what's wrong?" "I can't do this anymore." "Do what?" "Pretend he's coming back." The words come slowly, like something he's been holding in for too long. "Every time I perform, I look for him, in the wings, at the bar, in the crowd." A pause, and he's never there. That's when Barbara Sinatra finally understands. Frank isn't just mourning Dean's death. He's mourning lost time, the 7 years they let slip away. The calls that never happened, the reconciliation that never came. She tries to reach him. "Frank, Dean's at peace. You have to let him go." "I can't." "Why not?" "Because if I let him go, I have to accept I failed him." His voice lowers. "As a friend, as a brother." A long silence. "And I don't know how to live with that." But life doesn't give him a choice. 2 years after Dean's death, Frank sits down for what will become his final interview. The reporter asks a simple question. "Do you have any regrets?" Frank doesn't answer right away. The pause stretches. Then, "One." The room stills. "I regret not calling Dean." His voice is steady, but there's something fragile underneath it. "After the tour, I let pride get in the way. And by the time I realized how stupid that was," he exhales, "it was too late." The reporter leans in slightly. "What would you have said to him?" Frank looks down briefly, then back up. "I would have told him I was sorry for being stubborn, for being cruel, for not seeing that he needed space." A beat. "And I would have asked him to forgive me." "Do you think he would have?" A faint, sad smile crosses his face. "Yeah, he would have. Because that's who Dean was." "He forgave everyone," Frank adds quietly. "Even me." Then comes the question that lingers. "So why didn't you call?" Frank looks straight into the camera. No deflection this time. No pride left to protect. "Because I thought I had time." A pause. "And that's the mistake we all make." His voice softens. We think there's always tomorrow. Another pause. But sometimes there isn't. The interview ends. Frank never gives another. May 1998. Frank Sinatra dies of a heart attack. He's 82, the same age Dolly was when she passed. At his funeral, among the flowers and the silence, someone places an envelope inside his casket. The letter, the one he never sent, the one he kept for years. Because maybe, wherever they are now, Frank finally gets to deliver it, and Dean finally hears the words he deserved all along. The real tragedy isn't that Dean Martin never heard the apology. It's that Frank Sinatra never allowed himself to believe Dean had already forgiven him. Because Dean had forgiven him the moment he walked away, the moment he chose peace over pride. But Frank, he never forgave himself, and that's what stayed with him. Not anger, not resentment, just guilt, heavy, constant, unnecessary. December 29th, 1995, the day Frank buried Dean. It wasn't just a funeral. It was the end of something bigger. The Rat Pack, Las Vegas, that golden era where they ruled the stage and the world felt a little lighter. It all faded with Dean. Because without him, there was no balance. Frank was the fire. Dean was the calm. Sammy was the heart. And when the calm disappears, the fire has nothing to hold it back. Frank felt that. That's why he broke that day. Not just because Dean was gone, but because he realized something far worse. He'd been burning alone for 7 years, and the one man who could have stopped him wasn't there anymore. 3 years later, May 1998, at Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery, the roles are reversed. Now it's Frank being laid to rest. Among the crowd stands Joey Bishop. It's the first time he's come close to Frank since 1988. He looks at the headstone. Then, just a short distance away, Dean's grave. 20 feet, close enough to see, too far to ever speak again. Someone asks Joey, "Why didn't you visit Frank before he died?" His answer is simple. Because he had his chance to make peace with Dean, with me, with all of us. And he waited too long. But here's the truth. Joey was only half right. Frank did make peace. At the funeral, when he stood there and admitted failure. When he dropped the pride and told the truth. The problem wasn't forgiveness, it was timing. Frank spent his entire life believing he could control everything. His career, his image, his relationships. But there was one thing he couldn't control. Time. And time ran out. Today, Frank and Dean rest side by side. Visitors pass by, take photos, point quietly. There's Sinatra, there's Dean Martin, two legends, forever linked. But most people don't know the real story. They don't know about the silence, the years lost, the letter never sent, the moment a man finally broke when it was already too late. They just see history, not the regret behind it. And maybe that's the lesson in all of this. That pride costs more than we think, that waiting costs even more, and that the people we love most are often the ones we hurt the deepest. Frank Sinatra buried Dean Martin on December 29th, 1995, but a part of Frank was buried that day too. The part that thought he was untouchable, the part that believed there would always be more time. He lived 3 more years, but he was never the same. Because when you lose a brother, you don't just lose them, you lose a piece of yourself. And Frank learned that too late. If this story stayed with you, take a second to like the video. It really helps more than you think. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you felt while listening. And if you want more stories like this, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.